Hi guys, Chris Dubois. I wanted to talk about my first chapter in my book, From Dating with Discernment, Navigating the Modern Dating Scene with God's Guidance. And I wanted to talk, the first chapter here is called My Dating Journey. So in this chapter, I go into the details of my experience with dating girls. And if you're interested in buying this book, you can purchase it on Amazon. So my dating journey, I started in high school, freshman year. And, it was pretty crazy because I had never dated a girl seriously. I mean, there was a relationship or two in elementary school. The furthest we went was maybe holding a hands or a hug. But my first dating experience was with a girl that claimed to be a Christian. I met her in a youth group, and we had decided to go steady, if you will. Now, from the outset, I don't endorse dating as a freshman in high school. I wasn't at the age where I could get married if I wanted to get married. I wasn't an adult enough. I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't wise enough. So again, I talked about in the introduction of this book that I recommend dating once you're mature enough to actually get married, because that's the purpose of dating, trying to find a mate for the purpose of marriage. But anyway, so here I was unwisely, started dating freshman year in high school. I met this beautiful woman, and we dated for almost 6 months. The problem with her was that she wanted more from the relationship than I was willing to give. I believe sex before marriage is sinful. The Bible calls it sexual immorality. It's sexual intercourse outside of the covenant of marriage. It's what some translations call fornication. It's sex before marriage or sex outside of marriage. My point in saying all that is that she wanted that. And I remember saying no and her continuing to bring it up. Eventually, it went south. The relationship did not work. She broke up with me because I wasn't willing to give that to her. In the meantime, I found out that she had cheated on me with even some of my friends and other guys while we were dating. It was a very bad experience. It left great pain and hurt and sadness to my heart, and my emotions were really affected negatively by it. I experienced rejection, betrayal, and that was the start of my dating journey. It was very painful. I remember the first time she had kissed me. I was expecting, because it was the first time I had ever kissed any girl, maybe a second or two, a peck on the lip, and she ends up French kissing me for minutes on end. So I knew from the get-go this was trouble. And but God spared me. We didn't have sex, and the relationship dissolved, and here I was single again. Fast forward a little bit, I started dating a pastor's daughter, so a PK. I figured, hey, that's safe, right? She's got to be holy and spiritual, and hopefully there won't be any sort of sexual compromise. She won't pressure me for that like the last one did. And she didn't. So thank God for that. We had a wonderful short-term dating relationship, but that one ended as well, and that one made me cry hard. I really loved and respected her, and we had a lot of fun together, but she ended up breaking up with me. She didn't feel that it was God's will to continue in a dating relationship with me. We had a lot of fun together, but again, in that relationship, there was some sexual impurity. We never had intercourse, we never had sex, but it was a struggle at times, and we weren't always 100% pure. And again, I'm seeing a pattern. She ended up cheating on me as well while I was in that relationship. So from the first 2 dating relationships, this was both freshman and sophomore year of high school, I experienced betrayal, rejection, and we were impure sexually at times, but not to the point of sexual immorality or sexual intercourse. So by God's grace, we had saved ourselves there, but it wasn't entirely pure either. But this negative trend continued. And here we are. I'm going on to, I think it was junior year now of high school, and I ended up dating another girl. And you would think at this point, hey, why am I dating, right? And that's a great question, and I wish I, in hindsight, didn't. But I did. Now, there were some good lessons I learned from it. I learned how to treat the opposite sex. I realized early on that there are radical differences between male and female. that it was different by design from God to complement one another, that male and female truly are different. Like one book said, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So there was some good that came out of that. I learned how to treat a woman and how to interact and communicate with women, not perfectly, but I learned at least something. And so there was some good. I had a lot of fun. Together, we could do devotions together and do ministry together. But overall, there was a lot of negatives, and I wish I didn't date so young, but that was my experience. So fast forward, that relationship in junior year in high school, that went on to college, and eventually that dissolved, and here I am in college, single again. So what I track through this book is that there must be a better way to approach dating. And I get into that in the next chapter, because what I learned through my dating years in high school into college is that they were filled with rejection, heartache, betrayal, and impurity. And the last girl I dated that went into college, she did not betray me, and I ended up breaking up with her. So the rejection and the sting wasn't as bad. And we kept ourselves pure as well, in the sense of no sex outside of marriage. But that doesn't mean we were 100% pure in other ways. We weren't always. So these trends were in most of my relationship. And there's got to be a better approach to dating where we don't have all of this, and where we can get to know each other, but without the sexual impurity, without the sexual compromise, without the betrayal, without the fighting, without the drama, without the rejection. There's got to be a better approach to this. And I believe there is, as we apply biblical principles and biblical wisdom, and we allow God to navigate and guide our relationships, we can have a much better approach. So I'll take you there in the next chapter. God bless you guys.